We live? I don't know. I think we are. Should be. Should be live. Let me get everything set up. Pretty tired today. Not gonna lie. Had I not announced this previously, I would have skipped this one. Not that I don't want to do this watch along, just that I'm very tired today, so I didn't want to do it today. But I announced it previously, and I'm a man of my word, so I'll stick to it. There we go. All right. Got the stream pulled up on the other PC. Hey, there's everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh no, we watching this movie? Yeah, we watching this one. All right. How do I become a mod? I have to mod you if you want to become a mod. All right. Everybody get ready. We're starting the movie in 7 minutes. Everyone pop in Godzilla 1998. I'm watching the 4K. I'm going to watch the 4K. Okay. Everybody good to go? We're going to press play at 5 o'clock here. YouTube just went down. Lucky you streamed late. I heard that YouTube's been having some problems today. YouTube has been having some problems today. Let's hope this stream is unaffected by said problems, but you never know. I had to buy this movie digitally because I don't own the physical copy that isn't VHS. Dang, you're old school. For me, it's 7:53. Well then, for you, get ready to press play at 8 o'clock. Dropping in to say hi. Then I'm ranking in Overwatch. Also, obligatory Zilla bad. Thanks, Zim. I actually liked this movie when I was younger, which is something I'm ashamed of now. I like this movie. Is this going to be bad for me to say? Is it going to be bad during this stream when I'm not trashing on this movie as much as I should? When I'm sitting here going, I like this stuff. Godzilla 1998 is a movie that has a really solid first act. And then everything else is not as solid. Once Godzilla shows up, the movie goes downhill. But we'll talk about that when we watch this. Also, shout out to Godzilla 1998 for being the longest Godzilla movie. If any Godzilla movie was going to be the longest, why does it have to be this one? That's unfortunate. Alright, I got the movie pulled up and ready to go. Just ready to smash that play button. What's the next film? The next film we're going to be doing in the watch-along is the anime trilogy. So next week we will be sitting down to watch Godzilla Monster Planet. I was going to say Anime Planet. Godzilla Anime Planet. Not going to watch because I'm busy watching Ken Burns' Civil War documentary. Okay. This is a pretty decent monster film as a Godzilla film, though. I think it's a bad Godzilla movie. But I think it's a decent monster movie. Did you watch Godzilla 2020? I don't even know what that means. This is one of the first Godzilla movies you saw. It's one of the first Godzilla movies I saw as well. Would you like to hear my pretentious essay about how amazing Parasite is and how it changed? No, I would not. I'm so sick of hearing about Parasite. It's an overrated movie. It was not as good as people say it is. I could do a video essay about how it isn't that good of a movie. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. But it isn't. It's not as good as people say it is. Now we wait. I know, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes, everybody. The CGI is not too bad for 1998. For 1998 standards, the CG in this movie is still good. I think the CG in this movie holds up to some degree. To some degree, all right? This movie sucks, but holds a special place in my heart. Yeah, I mean, I feel that. Since G-Fest is canceled, Monstrosity does have something special in are you just telling me, or are you asking me? Are you trying to say Monstrosities? The channel? If G-Fest and Matsuri are both canceled, I will do a virtual G-Fest. I'll try and do a big crossover live stream with as many people as possible. What's up, Self-Elevation? Good to see you back. Same with you, Alden Tolbert. I remember I recognize your name. Alternative Content, recognize your name. Godzilla Or, same to you. SP Goji Fan, same to you. Matsuri is still on at the moment, yes. Hey, thank you very much. I'll read your donation here, and all right, I might as well read it now. I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna say Herschel, Chorus. I hope I said that right. Just because you're a Godzilla fan. Bam! Thank you very much for the donation. I got nothing against 98. It's people who was in it. I don't know what that means. All right, everybody, get ready to play. Press that play button. Smash that play button like you smash the bell icon, and hit the subscribe button. We start in the movie out here in 2 minutes. If you did a virtual G-Fest, I would definitely attend. The canceled event would have been the first time I would have gone to G-Fest. Yeah, if both my if both my things are canceled, I'll do a virtual G-Fest. I'll try and get as many YouTubers involved as possible, as many people as I can. All right, 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm gonna pop on the GIFs now. I think people like having the GIFs there. It provides some sense of context as to what I'm watching. I think people like having the GIFs. All right, I got the thing open, zeroed out, ready to smash that play button. It's 7:59 for me. Well, then smash that play button at 8 o'clock. We got to hit it at 5 for us. All right, we got 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I was worried I missed it, but I didn't. I got it. Now we're blessed by the TriStar. Yeah, TriStar logo though. Catchy theme song. 1 a.m. here. Why am I awake? I don't know why you're watching this. Perfectly in sync. Hell yeah. Oh, this is 98. Hey, y'all. Good y'all. Not my fave. But for the Raw fandom, why not? Exactly. You're somehow 10 seconds behind me. The reason I'm probably 10 seconds behind you is because there's a delay between when I'm filming and when you guys are seeing this stream. I'm going to be honest. I like this intro. I think it's atmospheric enough. That Godzilla's really underscored, isn't it? That's the movie title, and it's just kind of like off to the side. I never realized how underwhelming that was. But I really like this intro. It's moody and atmospheric. It gets you back in the kind of 50s aesthetic. Although I think technically the footage we're seeing here was shot. A lot of the footage, obviously, like this stuff, I think was shot for the movie. But I think a lot of the stock footage they use is from the 60s. But I do like this opening. The music is awesome. I think they killed it with the music, and this movie's music is pretty good overall. But yeah, this opening is really cool, and I think the reason we can say for sure that it's cool is the fact that they kind of not really create it, but 2014 topped this title. Oh, without a doubt, the 2014 one is Godzilla to the core. This one isn't. This one's kind of just like generic 50s monster movie, which is really what this movie feels like, is a generic 50s monster movie made with a 1998 budget and special effects. Whereas the 2014 intro is a Godzilla intro. Godzilla's not a generic character, is he? We got some lag going on. Seems to be okay on my end. What's the timestamp? 2:49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. The nuke just went off, by the way. All the iguanas are watching as the bomb explodes. This movie is very just sort of a generic American monster movie. Is very just sort of. I think you need to check your grammar there, but I get what you're saying. Now, which one of the lizards became Godzilla? Doesn't matter. They're all dead. It's their babies. That's a cool image right there. I like the smoke lines falling from the sky. I know they didn't create that. That's just an actual phenomenon that occurred, but it looked cool. There's Godzilla's egg. The music's really awesome. I really like the music. Little piano trill right here. That's cool. It has been... When did I do Godzilla-thon for this movie? Back in like 2016 or 17? It's been since about then since I've seen this movie. Thank you very much, Majestic Gothatil. Ooh, I don't know how to say that. Thank you very much for the donation. He says the Godzilla show is better. I think you're talking about the animated series that spawns off of this, and I agree. How long is this movie? It's like 2 hours, 12 minutes, 18. 2 hours, 18 minutes. This is also a really cool sequence. This whole opening on the boat, I like. This movie does have some good redeeming stuff. This sequence is awesome. All the boat stuff is really cool. It's a great Godzilla setup. The movie feels like a Godzilla movie up until Godzilla shows up on land, because this stuff is all solid Godzilla stuff, Godzilla action right here. And I think they're using miniatures. I think these boats are miniatures, and I know they did a lot of this stuff practically. Not all of the movie is CGI. I think the movie doesn't get enough credit for the things it did practically. Watching this on Netflix, perfect timing, awesome. Sound design's pretty cool as well. I like the noises Zilla makes, or Godzilla. I never know what to call him because people will get triggered regardless. I'm going to call him Godzilla because in this movie, he is Godzilla. He doesn't become Zilla until... Bam! He doesn't become Zilla until 2004. And then from 2004 on, he is Zilla. You're just reviewing the movie. Yes, that was an astute observation. That is what happens. Yeah, that's what the watch-alongs are. It's a live commentary. Godzilla in name only. That's fair. I think Toho would agree. This movie is definitely a lot better when we don't actually see Godzilla. Yeah. Yeah. Matthew Broderick. Everyone's favorite. He used to be one of my favorite actors in the world. And so... I used to eat this movie up because he was in it. I, as a child, would refer to this film as Scary Godzilla, because I thought the Godzilla in this movie was significantly scarier than the Godzilla we normally saw, you know? So I would refer to this Godzilla as Scary Godzilla, because even... as a 4-year-old child, I knew that there was something wrong with this Godzilla. I was like, this isn't the real Godzilla. This is scary Godzilla. It's some other type of creature. How did Nick Totopoulos not hear the helicopter before it basically touched down? What's your timestamp? Give me a second. You gotta let me know ahead of time when you're doing these watch-alongs. Toho Society, I announced these last week. I announced these a week in advance. Next week is the first anime movie. The rest of the month is going to be the anime trilogy. So there's your announcement. The rest of the month will be the anime trilogy. Topopopoulos, we are at 7:33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I used to also be a big fan of worms. I used to go dig up worms. I used to love worms. I was obsessed with worms. So I used to enjoy that intro as well because I liked worms a lot. Yeah, this is Godzilla by copyright. Zilla only applies to new interpretations of the character post 2003. So anything based on 98 or the animated series is Godzilla, despite what fans may say. Exactly. There's pressure from the Americans. What have you told them? Nothing yet. Why am I reading the subtitles? You can read them yourself. Because I went from reading the chat and then I looked over and saw the subtitles, and in my head I was like, yeah, you're reading. This is another great moment. Well, bye, I have to go to sleep. Alright, see ya. See ya, Blob. I brought worms into show and tell in kindergarten. Everyone was disgusted. I did not bring worms into show and tell, but I used to dig them up and put them in a bird box with dirt. I used to fill a bird box with dirt and put the worms in it so that they could live in the box, in that little house. Thank you very much, Majestic Gothella. Which monster from the animated series is the best? I don't know. I've not watched the animated series in a long, long time. That's a cool moment, man. I don't know what to tell you. That is a cool moment. And I appreciate that they at least put a little reference to his Japanese name in there. Godzilla. Good stuff. Like I said, the first little bit of this movie is all good. Mostly good. Godzilla. Yeah, it's been years and years since I've seen the animated series. I haven't watched the animated series since it got taken off Netflix. So however long that's been, I haven't seen the animated series since then. I like this general. I don't remember what his name was. In my head, I want to call him Wilcox. I feel like you just said his name. I don't know what his name is. But I like him. I think the characters or the actors in this movie do a good job. The actors in this movie do good with what they're given. I like the footsteps in the background. If you're paying attention, you can already see them. That's something that they did in the original movie as well. This movie does have some moments where it kind of pays love to the original, but the big problem with it is that Roland Emmerich had the idea that there was something inherently flawed with the original movie, and he needed to fix that, and that's not the attitude you go into a remake with. He didn't make it out of love. This is a cool reveal as well. I like the footstep. The music's really cool here. You're going to hear me saying a lot of good things about this movie up until the halfway point. They're written like complete idiots, though. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the writing is good. I'm saying the actors do good with what they're given. And at least you could say one thing for the characters. All of them have very distinct personalities. You know, that's not something you can say about all all Godzilla movies. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, most of them, the characters are pretty well defined. But monster movies in general, I guess. You can't really say that about most monster movies. And at least this movie, the characters are well defined on their own. This film was longer than I remembered. Yeah, this film is very long. Craven here is a character. Is that his name? Craven? I think that's what they just said. That's a character that I only remember because of the animated series. When I used to watch the animated series, I didn't even know he was supposed to be a character from this movie. It took until I was a little older when rewatching this movie to go, oh my god, that's the same dude. I did like the dude with the camera, no doubt. The dude with the camera is coming up. Yeah, he's pretty solid. Animal. Kind of a weird name is that anyways. New York City. I'd like to see modern Godzilla destroy New York City. Can't wait for the very epic Godzilla joke later on. Yeah, that one's pretty cringy. He's spreading the virus. He sneezed and shook someone's hand. Damn, this movie predicted Corona. And see, this is another actor. I think this is a Simpsons actor in the background here. The newscaster dude's a Simpsons actor. He's another side character that's got a very distinct personality. Anyone want to double check later on if we passed the Bechdel test right there when the two women sat down at that chair? They definitely talked about him, Mr. Kamen, but I don't think they started by talking about him. I wasn't paying that much attention though. Aren't most of the Simpsons actors? I think you're asking if they're in this movie? Yeah, most of a lot of Simpsons actors are in this movie, and I think the actors in this movie are all right. That's not a bad gag. That one's not as funny. But the gag of having him try and sit up taller on his chair, that's not a bad gag. That's funny. '98 is the best worst movie ever. I actually might agree with that. I think this movie, I'm going to take off my jacket. It's getting toasty in here. I think this movie is fun. I think this is a fun watch. I'm paying more attention to the live stream than the movie. As that's the way it should be. I really do feel like Roland Emmerich stripped Godzilla down from having his atomic breath in the '98 movie. Not only that, he just made Godzilla as lame as he possibly could. Audrey is the worst one. She really is. She's quite annoying. CG here doesn't look amazing. Looks better than the CG we will see in the rest of the Millennium era, though. That's right. I'm standing up for my opinion on Twitter. This is a Millennium era Godzilla movie. You can't tell me otherwise. Something to kick back to. For real, this movie is the best turn your brain off Godzilla movie there is. It's popcorn entertainment to the T. And, you know, I think that's the thing is, I kind of feel like that's what they set out to do. This is the best character in the movie. Bleep. But I don't think they set out to make an intellectual film here. And they didn't. I'm taking my shoes off, if you're wondering. They shouldn't have used CG for the ship and saved that money for Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't look bad in this movie. Most underrated monster movie? Are you asking me or are you saying this is? I don't think this is the most underrated monster movie. Dude, those G-cells are about to start some bio wars. That'd make this movie interesting. This may not be a good Godzilla movie, but it's a pretty decent kaiju movie. I agree. D-Man wears shoes. 99.9% of the videos uploaded on my channel, I have shoes on. On my, my prosthetic legs, of course. The ones that I sit on when I record. They were still working for the special effects, I think, about a week before the film came out, which isn't the most uncommon thing. That happens more often than you realize. This is another good sequence, the sequence with the boats. The real issue with this movie is it just has some severe pacing issues, because it's got a good setup. This stuff is all good. And then once Godzilla shows up, once you can get past the butchering they do to Godzilla as a character, the character assassination that occurs, you can kind of get into it, or I can anyways. I can kind of get into it, but once they think they kill Godzilla, the movie has the worst pacing issues ever up until he shows back up. You could cut out that whole 30-minute section with the baby Godzilla Velociraptors. It'd be better. Actually, I think it's longer than 30 minutes. And if you cut that whole plot line, this movie is an hour-and-a-half movie. And it wouldn't be that bad. The Griffin is not in this movie. I do like this, though. I like how powerful they make Godzilla seem in the ocean. He's sinking 3 ships at once. Cool stuff. Poor fishermen. Yeah, they're going down. The baby Godzilla part takes up way more runtime than it should. Absolutely. If we don't see these fishermen get eaten, rest assured they do. They're dying out at sea regardless. A shark's gonna get them where Godzilla is. Do we see them get eaten? I feel like they're in the middle of the ocean. I don't think they have much of a chance for survival. I did not remember the boats flying back up out of the water. I did not recall that happened. He only eats fish, remember? Do they absolutely state that he will only eat fish? I mean, I know that that's his food source, and that's what Nick will exploit later on, but does he only eat fish? See, all this stuff, they're talking about how huge this creature is, how terrifying it might be. We're getting some radiation set up. This movie reminds me of The Giant Claw, in that it's got this really serious setup, and then once the monster shows up, it falls apart. How did Godzilla grab the ships, then throw it back out of the water? Well, because he probably bit onto the nets, pulled the nets under, and then bit through the nets, so they went. It's like if you take a bottle and shove it underwater while it's empty, and then let go, it all. Boom. I believe they imply that he only eats fish, and the reason the babies went after the people is because they smelled like fish. That might be absolutely right. What's the timestamp? 21, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Oh, I guess 22, 2203, 4, 5, 6. We about to meet Animal. Haha. Boomer humor. We hate our wives, right, boomers? This guy's the second best character of the movie. I feel like I should be taking notes. This is the lessons I've learned in film school. Don't try and do things the right way. It won't work out well. Don't be the nice guy. Has this ever happened in the real world ever? Even once? Because this happens in movies all the time, where they will see a news report on the TV at a bar or a cafe that will talk about whatever it is they needed to talk about. Has there ever been a point when someone has been at a bar or a cafe and they look up at a TV and are like, hey, turn the volume up. I know this story and I'm following this very specific story that's personal to my life? I don't think that's ever once happened. Godzilla was smarter than an average Godzilla in this movie, TBH. No? I very much disagree. Other Godzillas show problem-solving skills and whatnot. This Godzilla is purely an animal. This Godzilla only acts on animal instinct. I mean, the MonsterVerse Godzilla uses strategy when fighting. He has skills that we see. You know, he can time up the landing to whack the Muto into the building. This is the fastest catch in history. This dude caught Godzilla faster than anyone's ever caught a fish ever. I used to really love this scene. I don't know why I said used to. This is still a cool scene. This was like the trailer for the movie, though. They clearly knew that this was the best scene of the movie. How he was able to hold on to that for that long, I've got no idea. Also, why did it get like sucked into Godzilla's mouth or whatever? Like, Godzilla's barreling towards this dude. How did it? Why wouldn't it? What? Why did that happen? Godzilla's moving towards this guy. He shouldn't have been running out of fishing line. I never noticed how weird the composition of that guy running on that board looks. Pay real close attention to the dude running on that board. It looked like he was running on nothing. The scene is iconic. And there's Godzilla. Godzilla's new roar is annoying. It's not terrible. It feels very Godzilla because it's just got his roar as the basis, but it feels very whiny. They mixed in whale calls into his roar, and it makes him sound super whiny. He's running on nothing. The boards under him were moving, but he wasn't. Yeah, it looked super weird. I used to love this sequence, man. I used to think this was so cool. That dude's body falling towards the camera. This is probably the most iconic scene in the movie, I would argue. That was the animatronic? I'm not able to tell when they use the animatronic and when they don't. He did trick the military multiple times, even pretended like he was dead in the building and came from behind. That's true. He does do that. But also, I still wouldn't say he's smarter than the average Godzilla. You know, Godzilla Earth also does similar techniques. Godzilla Earth can fake his bioacoustics so that he appears dead, so that he can take you by surprise. Yeah, the new Godzilla roar is just kind of whiny in this movie, isn't it? Yeah, there he is, busting out of that building. If you pay attention, you'll be able to spot it. I've heard lots of people say that this works better as a Beast from 20,000 Fathoms remake. This is probably the dumbest gag in the movie. Don't get me wrong, when Barney on the TV, I think is really what sells this. What the hell happened to her fingers? Where's the backstory on this one? What happened there? Did we see that earlier? I think we did. I think we saw what happened to her fingers earlier. I wasn't paying enough attention. You know, it would have been really great is if the tail flew up behind and then smashed straight through the building GMK style. You got to see GMK, but from the inside perspective. One of the main flaws of this movie was that this giant iguana was not a bad guy, yet they killed him without mercy. Yeah, I can see that. This Godzilla really doesn't do anything evil. He comes on land, he causes some damage, but he could have been steered away from land. And they do just kind of gun him down. And they lure him back on land in order to gun him down. So why did the tail completely disappear until the top? His body is basically at the same height. Well, the thing you're not understanding is that jokes and funny haha. Did it make you funny haha? I love how this dude just steals a camera and then films this footage. Why would you... I feel like he's chasing Godzilla the wrong direction. Uh-oh, she threw an R word out there. She threw the hard R. I used to think that was so cool, running on the top of those buildings. How did Godzilla appear right there? What did he do? Take a circle? How did he wind up right there? What? Psh, psh, psh. Man, I used to love this movie. This was another gag that I loved. The in between the toes foot stomp. I ate that up. He should be dead. Yeah. Well, if I was making this movie, he wouldn't have survived regardless. That would be some radiation poisoning right there. Godzilla didn't seem like he caused that much property damage. He knocked a little bit of that concrete over and then broke a little bit of that building. Maybe like a couple $1 million of damage. Maybe. Well, hello, movie that killed the 1996 King Kong. Yeah, but maybe for the better, though. I think you and I could both agree that that's maybe for the better. Because it birthed the 2005 Kong film. Thank you very much, Alden Tolbert, for the donation. Actually, Zilla's design is also... looks like the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Yeah... I guess, very vaguely. I think it looks more Godzilla than it does Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Kind of looks like if you mix the two. He stopped two thieves, so there's that. Yeah, Godzilla's a hero. He was just doing the Lord's work. The most this Godzilla did was jump through the building. Yeah, true. I forgot he did that, didn't he? He jumped straight through that. So easily. Because there's definitely not billions of people who could spot him. For people asking for timestamps, we're at 32, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and you might be tricked into thinking, hey, we're blasting through this movie. We're already 30 minutes through, but then you'll remember that we're going to slow so far down here in a little bit. Technical terminology. What? And because of Lord of the Rings, yes. Script-wise, this is the movie that ruined a potentially great Kong remake. Oh, technical... Yeah, you're talking about... I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I think it'd be a shame if we lived in a world where the 2005 movie wasn't the Kong movie that came out by Peter Jackson. How is that the first time I've ever heard that line? I never heard the threesome reference in this movie. I just hear Kent Brockman from The Simpsons. Me too. Me too. Stinky Mr. Cayman. What a mean dude. Yeah, boo women. Boo women, am I right, guys? Am I right? How'd she swipe that off him? When did she do that? This movie could have been a great American monster franchise if he was a villain at first, then a hero. Also, give him a different name. I have not read the 96 draft, no, but I've watched your video on it. She used her magic. Stinky women magic, always stealing from men. Boo women. Get them out of here. How did this dude wind up... Oh, does he work for the news company? I think he does. Never mind. That was established earlier. I forgot what his occupation was. Yeah, there's the building that they recreated in the 2012 mood piece for Godzilla that we later saw in 2019's King of the Monsters. I can send you a copy along with the Bo Goodman 1997 script. Please do. Please send those. That building shouldn't be standing. It shouldn't be in the Monsterverse either, and yet it still was. Those two characters, what a bunch of goofballs. That's really how you can describe everybody in this movie, though, huh? I'm like, that guy, what a goofball. This movie is about a bunch of goofballs encountering a giant monster they think is Godzilla. That should be the back of the box description. Imagine what the Toho monsters would look like in a TriStar version. Ugh. That dude's the best dude in the movie. By far. I'm going to say that every time he keeps showing up. Roland Emmerich invented. Yeah, spamming monkey. Good times. Emmerich makes fun of Siskel and Ebert and doesn't do anything with them. Well, he makes fun of them. You said it yourself. That's what he does with them. Ba-da-dum, 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 ba-da-dum. This song. Why is there a dude holding a goldfish on a train? That's what I was saying. Why was he just standing there with the fish on the train? The 98 film was meh, but the cartoon was absolutely awesome. I remember really liking the animated series. Definitely need to rewatch it. Classic. Haha, funny. French guy doesn't know what a donut is. Ha ha. American coffee bad. Ha 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 ha. Get it? I want a donut now as well. The only thing I thought was decent was the updated Zilla's Roar. I feel like I heard that in King of the Monsters when Godzilla showed up in Boston. No, the one that you hear when Godzilla shows up in Boston is far more like the Showa roar than it is the 98 roar. It's actually funny you say that because 20 minutes ago I was talking about how I didn't like the roar all that much in this movie. I think it's too whiny and high-pitched. I think they should have pitched it down lower. Haha, he is French and America food is bad. On the same wavelength. Is this guy telling me that fish are just on public transportation? You've obviously never ridden public transit before, have you? Not in a while, no. No, that's not true. It was only a couple months ago since I've ridden the train. Zilla's a Skywalker, always whining. Exactly. It looks so nice outside. I just want to be outside on a bike ride right now. But instead, I committed to doing this stupid watch-along for a movie that's so long. 2 hours, 18 minutes. Are you serious? We're only 40 minutes in. Godzilla got outside the quarantine zone. He's gonna get everybody infected. Oh my god, this movie's... It predicted everything. Wouldn't you want Godzilla off the island? Wouldn't you want him away from the mainland? But where's everybody seeing the Pepsi? I don't see the Pepsi. It predicted everything because there are Simpsons in this movie. That's probably true. Flip, flop, flip. Where's the new YouTube name? D-Man1933. Classic. That's the first time I've heard that joke. It was when they entered the tunnel. I missed it. Flip, flop, flop. Do you guys remember Fresca? Remember that old soda brand? Do they still even sell Fresca? What's that building called? The big one? Something iron? Is it the Iron Building? Something? I don't know what it's called. I think they sell it at Target. They still sell Fresca. I was about to start reading the subtitles again, as if that's my job. It's next to the tab in the soda aisle. Interesting. No one's gonna... Oh, the Flatiron Building. The Flatiron Building. That sounds right. You think Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be delayed? No. I don't think so at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. I think it's a 50% chance that it could be. Remember the Godzilla Dr. Pepper ads? Yeah, those were awesome. I'm surprised there wasn't any Kong references in this movie. I'm not. I don't think this movie wanted to draw attention to King Kong. Those two characters seem like they crawled out of Home Alone and wound up in a Godzilla movie. Most of the soldiers in this movie feel like they're in the wrong movie. Most of the soldiers in this movie feel like they're in a much better monster movie. Clever girls. Look at them with the fish. Oh, it's coming. Everybody shut up. Shut up. Shh. Oh! He said it, dude. He really out here saying that's a lot of fish. Are you kidding me? He really said it? What? To be completely fair, that is a lot of fish. The man isn't wrong. The thing is that even a joke? I know it's played like a joke, but it's strictly an observation. It's not even like a witty observation. It's not like an MCU observation, like calling Ebony Maw Squidward. It's just simply stating there is in fact a lot of fish in that one particular spot. It'd be like that being the joke. It'd be like him turning around and seeing the smoke coming up from the manholes and going, we gotta get those manholes uncovered. And just delivering the line as if it's a joke. Like how the soldiers are like, yeah, we'll go along with his plan. We will get the entire military in this one tiny little intersection. We'll get all these hundreds of pounds of fish and pile them all up. But the second he starts opening up the manhole covers, now we're going to start questioning it. I also like the idea that manhole cover being opened is the one that alerted Godzilla that the fish are here, like he couldn't smell it from the other ones. You know how powerful Godzilla's sense of smell would be, considering that he's a reptile? It'd be incredibly powerful. He would have smelt that fish miles and miles away. That's an odd sound design choice. It's effective, wasn't it? That's a cool sound effect for the ground ripping in half, but I never realized just how odd that is in concept. A concrete ripping in half sounding like paper. There's Godzilla. That street tears like it's styrofoam. Godzilla's got some weird posture here. CGI is not that bad. I don't think it looks terrible here. And again, Nick's just out here taking a picture of Godzilla. You know, Godzilla's about to lean in nice and close, get close enough to where he could Serizawa him. He could just touch him right on the face. And yet, this movie treats Godzilla like he's the villain. Like, look, I get it. The military would attack a monster like this. But the movie itself presents Godzilla as if he's the villain when he is clearly not the villain of this movie. It's like the opposite. Nick is deaf. He can't hear anymore. That roar just deafened him. This movie's like the reverse of Kong Skull Island, where in Kong Skull Island, Kong appears to be the villain at first, and then he's revealed to be the good guy. I like how they have a giant fish icon. I think it's because the 4K remaster fixed the CG. I don't think so. Why are there full fish coming out of his mouth? Where? Right there? I didn't see it. That's a cool shot. Godzilla looks very huge right there. And there's some more unintentional destruction. The only time Godzilla ever causes damage in this movie is entirely on accident. Again, why not just lure him to an island or something? Why lure... And I mean a real island, not this island. Okay, here, the CG doesn't look great on the fish that Godzilla's eating. When he was roaring, entire full fish were flying out of his mouth. Because sometimes he's too big to chew them. What do you want? He just swallows them. Shouldn't Godzilla be eating like whales or something? You know how unhelpful fish would be for him? Oh, we're gonna need bigger guns. Classic. Good joke. Like how everybody involved is like, we're really shooting this thing? Whoa, I never realized how bloody Godzilla get right there. That's definitely something that the 4K helped me see. I never realized that all those bullet holes actually leave marks on him. I see that Godzilla's like a video game character though, because those bullet holes were healed in that shot. He's like on a video game when you shoot the wall. After a certain amount of time, the bullet holes just go away. Yeah, I like how even the military was like, we're attacking this dude? He's not doing anything. And they miss every shot. The military, oh, here it comes. What the hell is that? What I'm assuming happens, and this is kind of the interpretation I've always had for this movie, is that Godzilla's roar is flammable. And so he doesn't actually have an atomic breath. What happens is that his roar is flammable, and if things explode while he's roaring, it will ignite. That's kind of the impression I get. But like the military in this movie is more incompetent and causes more destruction than the military in Destroy All Monsters. And Destroy All Monsters is a movie where the military helps destroy Tokyo on accident. He has flammable breath. A car explodes and it starts the fire. That's exactly how I always thought it was. I've always thought it was his roar causes like flammable heat waves. If you're gonna destroy the Chrysler Building, why not have Godzilla be the one to do it? Why have the military be the one to do it? I don't get it. No, that is not power breath. Power breath is the green atomic breath that is seen in the animated series. What do they have on their map? They have a They have on their thing an exact map of the buildings that got hit. How did that guy know the Chrysler Building was the one that got hit? He's getting that feeling right now because he just realized which Godzilla movie he's in. He's like, I thought we was in the the 2014 Godzilla movie. And this guy comes barreling down the street and he goes, God damn it, we're in this Godzilla movie? The military just shreds those buildings. Why would you just be firing when he's not in your line of fire? Why are they firing constantly? It was like they were going to shoot each other right there. He do be sounding like an elephant, though. Yeah, he has an elephant whale Did I say whale earlier? I meant elephant. He has an elephant mixed into his roar. I definitely said a whale earlier. What the hell was I talking about? Maybe he does have a whale, but it's very elephant. What are they shooting right here? What do they think they're shooting? Jesus Chrysler. Wow. Wow, Jack. There's the only destruction Godzilla causes. One of the only times he feels like Godzilla in this movie is that little shot right there. How did he get behind them? Because he's very fast. I will say, this Godzilla could outpace any other Godzilla in a race. Is this the one when Godzilla disappears and then comes up from below and snaps the dude out of the air? That's kind of a cool moment. Yeah, right here. Wham! Flashzilla. Why is that joke in this movie? I don't know. That's a good shot. This is a good Godzilla moment. Have some candy. What the hell? Timestamp. 54. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not a bad joke. That's funny. I like that. Why does he grab that building specifically? Probably because it's like equal in height to him. I have a very interesting relationship with this film. When I had very first saw it, as a child, I grew up on this movie and I loved it. I loved this movie up until it's probably like 12 or 13 years old. And I started listening to more Godzilla YouTubers. No, not like current Godzilla YouTubers. It was like I started listening to things that like James Ralph had said about this movie. And I had seen some other people talk about Godzilla on YouTube. By the time I was 13, I was watching the Sons of Serizawa podcast, and I heard how much they disliked this movie. And how much they hated this movie. And I, back then, forced myself to hate this movie. Probably from like the age of 10 until like 17, 16. Yeah, 10 to 16. From like ages of 10 to 16, I tried to make myself dislike this movie. Because I felt that it would make me more of a Godzilla fan if I had problems with the Godzilla movie that everyone has problems with. And so for years, I forced myself to hate this movie. Even when I had just started out, when I was doing the channel back in the day, and I would say that I hated this movie, just simply because I was told to hate it. And now I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm past that. And I don't think there is truly a Godzilla movie I can say that I hate. There are some that I dislike more than others. But I don't think I can truly say I hate any of them. And this is definitely one of the ones that I can't say I hate. I don't hate this movie. You shouldn't have done it, Nick, you simp. She's gonna screw you over, my guy. Oh, no. I went through Zilla 98 hate phase too, to the point of marking black marking off God on all the areas of my VHS tape. Gotcha. I never went that far, but there was a period of time when I forced myself to hate this movie. I don't hate this film either. This is just one of the ones that I would watch the least. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I revisit the least. I mean, what? It's been at least 2 years since I've seen this movie, I think. He's pregnant. How? He doesn't say that yet. Sorry if you guys thought I was ahead of you. I'm not. He's pregnant. There, you just said. How? I know this point in the movie has been poked apart a whole bunch. There's holes all over this. But he just admits that the tests aren't designed for an amphibian. Although Godzilla's a reptile. and yet it still tests Godzilla positive? How the hell does that work? What? You said it right when he said it for me. That means you're ahead of me. How does that test work to find out Godzilla's pregnant? And then I do like that this Godzilla is still considered a male despite having female genitalia, as confirmed by the people that made this movie. Not only does he have female genitals, he lays eggs. I suppose he fertilizes those eggs too, huh? So I guess he is a little bit of both, because he fertilizes those eggs. But the movie still calls him a male, and everyone involved will always say he's a male. So Godzilla's a male in this movie, even though some of the fans will call him a female. I don't think that's what transgender means. Yeah, you can't test a reptile with a human pregnancy test, or at least I don't think you can. You absolutely cannot. Yes, that's the general consensus, Mr. White. Everyone kind of agrees that the animated series is far better than this. She straight up pops this tape in. Why did he leave her unattended in a military tent? He deserves to be fired later on when they kick him off. He leaves her unattended, a reporter, in his military tent, thinking she's off the record, whatever. And she straight murks this tape, steals it right from him. Wait, are they using Betamax or VHS? I think it's VHS, but I could be wrong. He should be a female, any lizard that asexually reproduces are female, making clones of themselves. Yeah, but this movie will go out of its way to tell you that Godzilla is a male. Or here's a better idea for the military. If they're so intent on keeping Godzilla in Manhattan, why not bring him to Central Park where he can't cause any damage to buildings? Man reptiles are weird. My snake's a man reptile. Audrey should be arrested by the military. One can only hope she was. How do you not notice that the thing you're looking at is Godzilla? Sure, it kind of looks like a rock or whatever, but you're going to be able to smell him. You're going to be able to feel the draft right there. You're going to be able to hear that. That scene freaked you out as a kid? Because he would have to go through town to get to Central Park. Yeah, but he has to go through town to get to where they're trying to get him anyways. Arrest April O'Neil for stealing the tape. Is that the actress's name? Guys, we're not even halfway through this film yet. We're not even halfway through. My attention span has ran out for this movie. We've already heard about all the fish. There's nothing left. This movie is way too long. I'm tired. Yawn. Ha ha ha, funny French people always talk about food. Very silly. All that's left is filler till we get to the credits. There's one more Godzilla sequence that matters with the military where they think they kill him. And then he should just immediately bust up through the ground and it's like, oh, what's happening? And then the final chase and then the movie's over. But there was a lot of fish back there. I know, and ever since we saw the fish, it's like the movie has nowhere else to go but down. Can we do Final Wars after this series? Someday. Not anytime soon. So, this is the scene where they fire him, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, because a creature that big would definitely not eat fish. That many fish. At least the French dudes are taking notes of Nick peopleis. The whole movie should have been told from their perspective. This is just like open bar night for the news crew because all of them had press badges. Okay, so right here, the military general is on board. Another, like, colonel or whatever isn't. I forget who pointed it out. Someone pointed out to me that line and how weird it is. The fact that dude knew that this tape was about to air. Because he says we should all watch this like he knows what they're about to watch. I think that guy is the one who should be under suspicion. I don't understand. All right, let me go off. They're on board with him. They're on board with his theory. They get frustrated that his theories are being aired on television. But why do they ignore the fact that he says that there's a nest? Why? Just because they're upset with him, they're like, whatever, we're moving on. I don't get it. Thank you very much, Godzilla fan 1995. I appreciate the donation. What timestamp? I'm at 106, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. They're so mad they won't use their brains. Exactly. This movie's weirder than I remember. Well, now we can get to the French guys. My new review is out if you're bored. We'll just all pop on Jack's video. It's going to be more entertaining and have a more cohesive plot than this. Audrey has more plot convenience superpowers right here in this moment than Ford Brody did in the entirety of 2014. Which is saying something. Also, I like how she has to ask. Is it because of me? Is it because I stole your tapes and got you fired? Is that why you're upset? If I'm not mistaken, Nick's about to get into the car with the French dude. Which makes me question... what happened if Nick got in a different cab? What was the French guy's plan then? If she steals, she's a thought. It is bad writing. Not a fan of the acting, huh, Mr. Cool? Again, this... Damn. My chest is all coffee today. Again, this movie should have been told from the perspective of the French guys. I like how Animal sees this exchange go down from across the street, and he's like, that Nictotopoulos guy, that's the bad guy in this situation. And then he just steals a car. Did he just steal that car? Didn't he just try and hail a cab and then he just gets in some random car and steals it? Yeah, D-Man has Corona because he's all coffee. That would suck. My character's relationship with an anime Terminator has a better love story than this. That's his van. Why did he try and hail that cab if that's his van? I believe you. I believe that's his van. Meanwhile, he's getting kidnapped. Golly. Look at that little romantic shot. Can't he just unlock the door with the pull-ups? Hey, dude, you're giving Nictotopoulos too much credit. He's been dealing with worms in Chernobyl for the past 5 years. He doesn't know how cars work anymore. Where are you at? 110, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. In Nick's credit, he's playing this whole kidnapping thing very cool. He's handling it very well. And in the military's credit, they have none. I don't understand why on earth did the military not look for the nest. You know what I could really use right now? Some ice cream. I'd like an ice cream break. Throwback to 2016. Give me an ice cream break, please. Yeah, this is America. Don't catch me slipping. What are the lyrics? Don't catch me what? Did I not just read the timestamp? I totally just read you the timestamp. Ice cream breath. Breath? I think you mean break. Ice cream break. I could use some ice cream now. Don't catch you slipping up. Is that the lyrics? Funny enough, I just ate some ice cream. Nice, Carson, I'm jealous. When a Kong movie is better than a Godzilla movie. That happens more often than I think you're ready to admit. You look sleepy. I'm very tired. I was going to call this stream off and not do it because I'm feeling pretty tired today. But I need to be consistent. These guys are the best part of the movie, for sure, by far. What scene is it? It's a scene where all the refugees are inside the house going crazy. And Animal's about to talk to his wife and then sneak out. Statistically, Kong has more good movies than Godzilla does. I don't know if I'd go that far off the top of my... You're actually... Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bro, this chick went along with this. She can't blame him. How is she going to blame him when she agreed? She is the one who said it, isn't she? He just agreed to what she said. These dang women. There was going to be a sequel to this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was a trilogy. They were signed on for a trilogy. I hate pretty much all the characters in this movie. I forgot that it's always raining in this movie. I know it's like Pacific Rim, but less visually interesting. Also, shout out to the 20 minutes it's been since Godzilla's been on screen? This is a hefty slowdown. This is a slog to sit through. Yeah. But it sure do look nice out there. Does he spend the rest of the movie in his military uniform? Nick Totopoulos? Makes me look more American. Did you make sure to close your window? I did not close my window, but I think if the sun was going to come blasting through, it would have already done so. It's all right. I don't know how to drive stick either. Don't sweat it. The reason I said this particular Godzilla is big brain is because he fights smarter, or he fights smart. He ambushed the helicopters, destroyed the submarine with its own torpedoes. Big brain 98. I still don't think that makes him smarter than the other Godzillas, because for every feat that this Godzilla does that's kind of smart, you can find something that the other Godzillas do that's equally as smart. The Showa Godzilla would fight with weapons. If you remember in Megalon, he fights with a tree. Uses that as a weapon, and the Showa Godzilla knew how magnets work. I guess he knew how that electric panel worked in Hedorah. He knew how to defeat Hedorah. The Heisei Godzilla, I'd have to think about that a little more. But there's a whole bunch of Millennium Godzilla intelligence that you can see. He only fights smart because he would get destroyed if anything hits him. Yeah, I think the torpedoes thing isn't necessarily strategy. I think the torpedo thing is just him evading. It's just a happy coincidence. Good old Elvis Presley. Oh, this dude's American accent reminds me of the Italian accent from Inglourious Bastards. Buongiorno. That's a great movie. Oh wait, they did set up the trap in Central Park. See, now this movie and I, we're on the same page. Big brain time for Godzilla 98. You're right. They piled the fish up in Central Park. Isn't Godzilla 2019 smarter than 98? I would say so. The 2019 Godzilla is certainly more aware of his surroundings. Long live the king. I mean Elvis. I'm trying to get my leg up. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. I think I still have the Zilla Happy Meal toy Taco Bell from Taco Bell back in the day. I think that I wasn't even able to get those Taco Bell stuff back in the day. They do that rumbling gag a lot in this movie, don't they? Despite all the hate, this is not a good... I wouldn't say this is a good movie. Godzilla caught those dudes red-handed. Oh, that's weird. I forgot how weird that shot of Godzilla crawling through the tunnels looked. The only toys I could find as a kid were the Bandai American toys at Kmart. Me too. Godzilla looks so weird crawling around. Animal really took his time there. I don't think he would have made it out of that alive. Or just out of it. I think Godzilla would have gotten him at the very least. He was way too slow. Godzilla also seemed incredibly short right there. His tail is so stubby in this movie. I think his spines would aid him in him being a burrower. I don't think his spines would aid in him being a burrower. Yeah, I don't think they would either. The new spines are okay. I don't have a problem with the two large shark fin spines on either side and then the row in the middle. I think Toho, one of their specific requirements is that Godzilla must have at least 3 rows of dorsal fins and that the middle row is always supposed to be the tallest. If I remember correctly, this movie ignored those guidelines and just went right on ahead and made the 2 side ones the tallest. But I think that's the case with this movie in general. If I remember correctly, Toho had a very specific set of guidelines for what Godzilla is and isn't supposed to do and be, and Emmerich ignored every single one of those when making this movie. If anything, they would make more sense facing backwards for him to burrow. I know I kind of paraphrased what you wrote, but still, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because then things would flow over his back. See, that shot wasn't bad. The shot of him walking out right here is not bad. You'd think, though, you're over here telling me that Godzilla is supposed to be smart in this movie. Godzilla's investigating the military right here. You're really trying to tell me that if he was smart, he wouldn't attack them? I think if he was smart, he'd realize that these dudes attacked him, and so he'd probably attack them in retaliation. But I don't think he's smart enough to realize that. I think he's just an animal trying to figure out what's going on with these tiny little creatures. If this was, per se, the legendary Godzilla who got that injured by the previous attack, I think the legendary Godzilla is going straight for these soldiers to destroy them. Even though I get it right now, he's figuring things out. He's recognizing that they're about to have him walking to a trap, and he's about to disregard that. I get it. He's figuring it out, but he's not going on the offensive. I don't know. I don't think that's a true good display of his intelligence. I think Godzilla in this movie is probably about as smart as like a dog. Or what's a generally smart animal? A dolphin? There's so many helicopters, and you're telling me they're all missing? They're all not hitting each other either? How are they all not hitting each other? That's a lot of helicopters. That's just the observational humor in this movie. This is kind of cool when he leaps right here. I like this shot. I so badly wish that Godzilla acted like Godzilla in this movie. I know, they're just shooting completely randomly. This sequence should have been attached to the previous Godzilla sequence. Picture him roaring on top of whatever the hell that building was, right? The lightning striking everywhere. We cut to the long shot of the city, and then we cut back in, and all the helicopters are flying in at him. We have that little chase, and he jumps into the water, lands in the water, and then the submarines attack him. Then the movie hits the slowdown sequence that we just made it through. Once we make it through that, you know, they can drive wherever because they're, maybe Godzilla's got a nest in Madison Square Garden. Let's go check. And Godzilla comes bursting up through the ground or whatever. And they can blow up Madison Square Garden without ever having to go in it because they can discover he sure does have a nest in there. And then Godzilla goes and chases them around, and the movie can just be over 30 to 45 minutes sooner. Don't they at one point say that they can't target lock onto Godzilla either because of his heat? Because it seems like they've target locked onto him pretty well right here. Yeah, I can't tell if Godzilla does this intentionally. I can't tell if he's intentionally trying to blow up this submarine. But if this was truly Godzilla, he would have no problem hitting that submarine head on and plowing straight through it. The true Godzilla wouldn't duck. I guess he clips it right there, but the thing that actually destroys the submarine is the impact of those missiles. The true Godzilla would have just blasted straight through it. This Godzilla was so unstoppable in the water in the beginning, why doesn't he just attack the sub directly? That's what I'm saying. Doesn't he get shot right here twice? Yeah, he's about to get blown up. Yeah, this movie literally has a lot of dumb moments. Again, the plot holes in this film. Yeah. They're firing the torpedoes. You got nowhere to run now, Godzilla. Trying to burrow. Oh, he just went head on right into that wall. Why did he do that? I don't think a burrowing creature just goes head first into something. There he goes. They blew him up. Got him. Good riddance, Godzilla. We got you. Congratulations. The movie's over. With the shot of Godzilla falling to the ocean floor. They sure did knock him out. They should have just continued the assault right here and blown up his corpse. We still have an hour left. We still have 50 minutes left. Toho had to approve the design. They sort of did approve the design because if I'm not mistaken, Emmerich's team went full steam ahead with the CG in this movie, and they only submitted the design for approval when the movie was almost finished. And so by the time Toho got to see the design, there was nothing they could do about it. So I guess, yes, technically they did approve the design, but as far as I'm aware, the only reason that happened is because they didn't have much of a choice. That's what I've heard. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard. Maybe they did know from the start. Have you ever seen when people try and Photoshop the 98 Godzilla with the traditional dorsal fins? Because it looks wrong. It looks unnatural. Do you like the design? I like the look. I like the look at it, not as a Godzilla, of course, but just as a kaiju creature. I think the design really comes into its own when Matt Frank draws it in Rulers of Earth. I think Rulers of Earth is truly where we get the best version of this character. He moves quick. He's kind of smart. He fights Godzilla. I don't know. I think that the one in Rulers of Earth is the best version of this character. This design only works with these dorsal fins. Anything else, it looks weird. Really weird. Speaking of the Matt Frank's art, Matt Frank, the comic artist, will be on the channel tomorrow night at this exact same time. We will go live at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And we are going to do a live interview. And for anybody hearing this, I'll give you a secret. You're going to want to watch the interview while it's live because it's only going to be available when it's live. Hope you heard that right. I'm gonna make that interview private once the live stream is over. So I hope you catch it while it's live. And then if you don't catch it, you're gonna have to wait months because I'm gonna take the live stream and edit it into multiple videos. So you're either gonna catch it when it happens or you're gonna have to wait for the videos to go out later. The animated series uses this design really well. He stands upright, yet crawls and ducks when it's strategically useful in battle. I didn't know he stands upright in the animated series. I thought he just stood with this posture. It's nice, can't wait. I love Matt Frank's version of Zilla, way better. I will watch it. What time will you start the stream? We're going to start the stream around the same time that I start these streams. So between 4:30 to 5 is when it's going to start. Closer to 5. I hope I'm not telling you guys the wrong time. I think we said 5. I announced it on Twitter, and I believe I said 5. What do you think of the 2004 Zilla? I think it's a waste of the character. I get why they did it, and I think it's very deserved and necessary because it provides a certain catharsis for Godzilla fans. But from an objective standpoint, it's a little bit of a waste of the character. He swaps between this posture and upright. The animated series portrays him much more like the Toho Godzilla. He's even incapable of reproduction. I do kind of remember these elements, yes. And I remember loving the animated series. It's, again, a series that I definitely plan on revisiting. I am gonna buy it here soon because it's been a long time since I've gotten to see it. Yeah, Raptor time. There's so much of this. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only reason the Zilla babies go after these guys is because they smell like fish. If I'm remembering correctly, there's a shot where they all sniff, like, and then they all look at the people at once. It's about to happen, implying that the people smell like fish. Oh, right here he says it. Also, maybe I'm perpetuating a myth here, but don't most reptiles smell with their tongues? Okay, here's a solution. Maybe not the most family-friendly solution, maybe a bit embarrassing, but if the reason that these Zillas are going after you is because you smell like fish, specifically your clothes, because they smelled their clothes, couldn't you just take your clothes off? Wouldn't that help? Wouldn't you just be able to take your clothes off and then call it a day? These dudes eat it. These dudes get eaten, I should say. Oh my god, there's 40 minutes of this in the movie. But the clothes soak and your skin gets wet and you smell like it. It's at least worth a try, right? Dude's about to get smoked. Maybe this movie would be fun to watch with a G-Fest audience, because I feel like people at G-Fest cheering this movie on would somehow be preferable than watching this movie in any other circumstance. That could have really backfired on her. What if she was caught off guard by that and didn't start running with him? That joke's not bad. The CG babies look so bad with the suit ones. Yeah, the suit ones look pretty good. For those of you who don't know, this movie does use a lot of suitmation in this sequence. A lot of these Zilla babies are suits. Of course they would be. Picture that. A bunch of rowdy Americans protesting completely reasonable things. Who would have thought? Never. That never happens in our world. See, I like that Colonel. He's one of the only other good characters in this movie. Contact the military. Should I call that right now? 555-7600. Someone call that number for me. That shovel is comically large. That's the largest shovel I've ever seen. How do you know they didn't make it? Did you see them not make it? How could he know that? I feel like that's a real number because I remember when this would play on FX, the number was changed. Huh. I like how they play the French guy as evil, but he's the reason everyone is saved. I wouldn't say they play him as evil. I think they play him as a good guy. Have you ever seen snow shovels? Yeah, I used to live near snow. I used to have to shovel all the time, but a metal shovel that large? If I remember correctly, they don't make metal snow shovels. I forgot how boring this movie is. I kind of did too. I remember this movie being a lot more fast-paced and fun. That being said, I think one of the reasons that I'm struggling here is because I'm tired. I think I'm just so tired that any Godzilla movie I watched would have been a struggle for me. Or just any movie in general. And the other thing is I need to keep doing a commentary and talking, but like not only am I tired, but there's also not a lot to say about this portion of the movie, so it's difficult to try and like keep trying to be entertaining. This is a good moment though. I like all the holes getting covered up. That's cool. You ever notice how they wanted velociraptors in this movie so bad that they took the dorsal fins off the Zilla babies? What the hell is up with that? Yeah, I don't know why he stopped shooting. Anyone want some popcorn? You guys want some popcorn? Oh, throwback to Blockbuster. Those were the days. Used to rent Godzilla vs. Hedorah from Blockbuster all the time. These babies don't have good manners though. Yeah, the CG doesn't look great, but it's not the worst. Why do they wait so long? The suit looks pretty good there. Why did they wait so long to try and attack him? They pounced those other dudes. Wrong floor! Oh my god, he said the line! This is unbelievable. I love that so much. God, I'm tired. Popcorn always makes movies better. Yeah, but I don't want to just be sitting here just like the whole thing. One of the few jokes that works. It is kind of funny. That convenient ceiling. Why they blew so much money on getting the actual Ebert in this is beyond me. I like how it didn't fall until it was convenient. That's exactly what I said. Yeah, that stinky janitor's thing. Why was that just out anyways? Why was that in the middle of the hall to begin with? Oh, he barely got that one. It's a good thing these CG dinosaurs run slower than a brisk jog. It's a good thing these double doors are going to stop them for as long as they do. We have seen these creatures bust through how many sets of double doors at this point, and yet that's the one that stops them? This is a decent gag. I hate when the network is on an internet. I hate that. Those babies are fast at climbing stairs. B to the O to the R to the I to the N to the G. Damn. Well, they're seeming to break through those doors pretty well. He was like all the way through that door. Like he made through that door faster than Jack Nicholson got through that door in The Shining. And they still haven't even placed the call to this dude yet. You're telling me that it took that long for the babies to make it up the stairs? Stinky Ed, just put us on. We've got CG dinosaurs here. Why wouldn't they start with that? Why did she think that starting out by being like, hey Ed, put me on, is the right way to go about that? Why not start out by showing Ed the countless Godzilla babies and being like, oh my god, Ed, look what the... I like how she has to make her hair look good. She's like, oh, I might die. I gotta pretty up before that happens. You keep calling them CG dinosaurs, but they're actually mutant lizards. Thanks. Is a dude named Hicks after aliens? That's a neat Easter egg if that's the case. What did I call him? Wilcox earlier? Why did I call him Wilcox? This chick's just learning her husband isn't home. This is, to be honest, in 100% fairness here, Nick's speech right here is pretty cool. Nick's broadcast right here is a genuinely good moment in an otherwise not very genuinely good film. Uh-oh. The casual closing. What a passive-aggressive way to try and stick it to the military. So I guess you could say... So I guess what you're telling me is that you were right and they were wrong. If all those babies retained the original 60s... Oh my god. If all those babies retained the original 60s Minya design, this scene would have been at least twice as terrifying. Would have redeemed the movie, full stop. That would have been horrific. If a bunch of baby 60s Minyas were running around. But picture a bunch of little Godzillas from Space Godzilla. Picture those running around trying to kill you. I think that might be a little scarier because they're so adorable that once they start coming after you, about to kill you, then it goes, ooh. It's like a killer teddy bear. Okay, but what if you don't have spelunking skills? Ha ha ha. He's from France. Get it? Because he's from France. Someone needs to make a re-edit of this scene where it's a bunch of Minyas. I remember there was a YouTuber called Gorazard who was going to do a re-edit of this movie using Toho music and sound effects. And the little teaser he put out was actually really awesome. Why does it take Nick so long to react right then? I think I could get behind a re-edit of this movie with Toho sound effects and whatnot. Gumballs away! Oh, he just murdered Tom Servo. That's how Tom Servo wound up an orphan. He just killed his dad. And then he stops to watch the trap unfold like Kevin McAllister. He had to make sure that he was going to get out of this one. I like this scene. I like this moment where he shoots the chandeliers. Critics trying to avoid this movie be like, are you talking about the chandeliers? Are you ahead of me? Timestamp for those people wondering. 1 hour, 50 minutes, 57, 8, 9, 1 hour, 51, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How did they take all the gumballs with them? I said why, but the true question is how. I like this. I like the chandelier thing. And the music here is really cool as well. I should have started counting down from 30 when they said 30 seconds, because I think this sequence definitely lasts longer than 30 seconds. that one gun is gonna hold this entire thing in place. The glass doors too. At least a few of these are coming out. They're already dead. You were counting? Damn. 2 away. Here we go, the Independence Day shot. Independence Day meets Terminator 2 meets Jurassic Park. Godzilla. So those guys are dead for debris. They died right before they hit the doors. That's unfortunate. I actually like this movie. That's fair, Greenstorm. No judgment here. You do you. The thing that gives me a lot of anxiety is the fact that, oh my god, is the fact that the Godzilla vs. Kong trailers and coming. Oh my god, dude. They're kissing in the rain. It's a reunion. That's a good moment. I like that. That's funny. Ford did it better. Yeah, Ford did this whole never dying thing a lot better. Alex hates this movie. And you get that weird, like, oh, sound effect for Godzilla. That's not a bad moment. I think that's a cool shot where he bursts up through the ground right there. Oh, it's been so long since we've heard that roar. It's actually kind of refreshing to hear again. Oh, baby Godzilla dead. How'd that baby's body not get burnt to a crisp? How's it just lying there? I don't understand. Sad Godzilla. So, Godzilla only now finally starts to act like Godzilla. And we have like 20 minutes left in the movie. He's finally acting like Godzilla. Doesn't he cause something to explode right here as well? Maybe it's not this shot in particular. I think he's about to do it though. What explodes this time? What does his breath catch that causes the flame? Maybe it's another car sequence. Maybe he roars on another car and explodes the car. Oh no, it's right here. Right? That bouncing tire, I used to love that. Alright, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to try and spot what explodes next time he roars. It's a little later? Yeah. It's a good thing his toe is that steep so that they could drive up it. It's right here. I'm making fan art right as we speak. Good, nice job. Send it through Twitter when you're done. Ooh, almost got him. Oh, it's right here? When does he do this, dude? I'm gonna spend the whole rest of the movie guessing as to when he's gonna blow up this car. I never realized that the taxi car chase in King Kong '05 is vaguely reminiscent of the taxi car chase in this movie. Granted, I think the taxi car chase in '05 is a lot better than this. Got him! They juked him. Take that, Godzilla. How does that feel? This is a kind of clever moment, you know, throwing this thing at him. Why did he fall? Because he got juked. You ever play basketball? It happens. Would have been unfortunate if in the process of throwing that thing at this dude, Godzilla stepped on all them. So there's a Kong reference or something between those lines in this movie. It'd be the other way around. I don't think it was intentional, but if anything, it would be King Kong referencing this. Michael Dougherty didn't ruin Godzilla, the critics did. If you're talking about King of the Monsters, I don't think that movie was ruined in general. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, those two cars clink up against one another and explode. That took way longer to get to that one than I remember. The good old fire breath. Which is probably the most realistic version, right? Just having flammable breath that, if sparked, will catch fire. But also, you're making a movie about a giant lizard chasing people through the streets as they drive a taxi. Why is realism your concern, Mr. Emmerich? I expect a rear window shot of Godzilla roaring. I don't think there is that. That's a very Jurassic Park moment that you're talking about. Godzilla King of the Monsters is very underrated. I agree. Got back from work. What did I miss? You missed the first hour, 59 minutes, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 seconds of Godzilla 1998. Whoa! Why isn't everything else your concern? What? Why isn't everything else your concern, Mr. Emmerich? Huh? Now, I have heard from people familiar with New York geography that Brooklyn is not the nearest suspension bridge, and I'm just going to have to take their word for it. As Don just pointed out. How does he jump onto the building without collapsing it? Because he's Godzilla. Obviously. Playing some music for you guys. Where could he have gone? That's kind of a King Kong moment right there. That dude Tokyo drifted straight into Godzilla's mouth. Haha, take that, stupid Godzilla. Can't even swallow a taxi on some bridge. Your stupid tiny little throat. You deserve this, Godzilla. Remember when the 2014 Godzilla used to grab those Fiats off the ground and just swallow them whole? Zip zap, that hurts. They should have had any other explanation for how they kill Godzilla. Any more monster-esque explanation than we just shot him with missiles. Right there, he gets injured by electricity in the mouth. What if they had some sort of electric trap that worked? Like a high-tension wire system from the original Godzilla movie, but this one works as successfully, is able to trap and kill Godzilla. Maybe they pin him down with these suspension wires, and then they, I don't know, fire lightning bolts into him with a giant Tesla coil or something. I have no idea. Alex, you're spamming, and I'm going to time you out if you keep spamming. This used to anger me, that Godzilla ran straight through that bridge, that big support beam, bringing the suspension wires down upon himself, because he just stepped over one of them. Why couldn't he step over the other? This bridge is your favorite? Nice. I have a feeling that if Godzilla struggled that much on the bridge, he'd just collapse it and he'd fall straight into the water beneath him. Pew pew, they got him, dude. Toasted. 6 missiles. They very narrowly made it out of that one. The song here, I will give the movie some credit. The song here is awesome. The finale song to this movie is really good. I don't know how he wasn't able to get out of this one. 2, 4, 6. 12 missiles take Godzilla down. 12 missiles take down what was supposed to be the king of the monsters. This scene is truly the scene that cements him as Godzilla in name only. Kill Godzilla in the movie if you want to. I don't take issue with killing Godzilla. I think Godzilla should be a character that's able to die. We've seen Godzilla die many times in the past. Kill him with a more creative way than just, we shot him with some big bombs. There's another bouncy tire. This movie really likes bouncy tires. And rain. There he is dying. Lance Reddick, I believe, is an actor who's going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong. I think that's his name. He is on this bridge scene somewhere. This was one of his first movie roles. He is in John Wick as well. Yeah, Nick Papadopoulos getting all close to Godzilla here. Having a little Sarazawa moment with him. There's Godzilla's heart stopping. Those sound effects were very underplayed underneath the music. You could hardly hear the heart. It's kind of a King Kong 76 moment. And the light in his eye goes out. And they slowly seal over. Not a bad effect, though. The effect looked alright right there. They're all sad. Yeah, right. Nick is the only one who has a realistic reason to be upset right there. I like King Kong 76 as well. She just realized her husband's there? She just realized that? Can Godzilla get infected? No. Can't spread the virus to an animal. Or to a reptile, I mean. Yeah, take that. Wiping my hands clean of you and this whole plot line. Wiping my hands clean of it because it's bad and didn't need to be in the movie. She doesn't like him and she kissed him. Haha, funny. See, those two soldiers feel like they're in the wrong movie. They feel like they just came out of a good Godzilla movie. Yeah, take that. Take that, Chuck. Stinky men bad. Men bad. I like how he says that like he's not gonna quit. He's like, hey, she quit, but I still want my job. Where's Philippe? I don't think he tells them. Does he tell them? I don't think he's gonna tell them. Was that the last line of the movie? Oh. That's the last line of this movie? Just some Okay, I guess they have some dialogue right here as well. Meaningless banter about the tape. Good stuff. The last line of the original Godzilla movie. If we keep nuclear testing, another Godzilla may appear. The last line of the 98 movie. Did he say anything about my tape? I was beyond hyped as a child watching this sequence. Seeing the egg, realizing that that meant that Godzilla could live again, not understanding that it had been years since this movie came out and there was never going to be a sequel. I remember getting so hyped when I finally figured out that this was Godzilla's egg at the end here. It's like doing a celebratory victory dance. So I was so hyped for the sequel. Oh! Burn, burn, burn. Yeah, now it's time for an entire animated series watch along. Puff Daddy. There's 8 minutes of credits. Whew. I'm not familiar enough with these songs to sing along. So is the son from the animated series... I don't understand that comment, Tony. Why is there 8 minutes of credits? Because do you see how slow they're scrolling and how large the font is? These are large credits and they're scrolling quite slow. Creature motion specialist. Give some shout outs to the boys, to the few people who deserve it. It's gonna be City on the Edge? What? What's gonna be City on the Edge? Next week is gonna be Monster Planet. You can see the textures on Baby Godzilla's jaw as it stretches. Weird in that last scene. I did not notice that. Why would there be a trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong tomorrow, Kevin? This movie did make Godzilla even more popular. That's true. That's true. A lot of the time when I talk about Godzilla 2, this is the Godzilla movie that people think of. They're like, oh yeah, that one with Ferris Bueller. I am tired, but I may have to go to my other stream. Gotta support him. Boys support boys, Godzilla 2006. That's what I say. Go support the boys. I know, I'm just saying that's what I'm skipping out on. I don't know why you'd have to skip out on it, but sure, yeah, skip out on it if you need to. Would have liked to see the sequel, since we would have gotten a monster with the word bitch in its name. Kind of glad we never got that sequel, because it would have made it so that the animated series never came out. You gonna watch Monster Planet? That movie sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Planet of the Monsters. That's the next week's movie. Once again, I'll remind you all to tune in tomorrow night at the same time for the Matt Frank interview. We'll be interviewing Mr. Frank live. Yeah, the queen bitch. Wasn't she just like a giant bee or something? If I remember correctly. I might miss one of the watch-alongs, either planet or city. I'm moving, so that's gonna suck. Damn. You should listen to it in the car, or the plane, or whatever. Don't know about that. A lot of people started to hate 98 later on, and reviews for it was very bad. Yeah, no, a lot of people, I'm not saying a lot of people like it, I'm just saying a lot of people know of it. Damn, Tony going off on Alex. What's Alex doing? I'm not reading his comments, so I didn't see. There was a vid that we will get a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer early May, but tomorrow is going to be mid-May. Don't believe this. You guys are the most gullible people in the world. You're desperate to believe this information, and it's never true. The trailer is coming at earliest in like July. As much as I want to see the marketing start now, the trailer is still gonna, it's a ways away, I feel. Don't believe it. Hey, but if Matsuri is still happening, I might be able to go. Moving to Texas? Oh, you're moving all the way to Texas? So it'd be a shorter drive to Houston. I mean, I know we never meet up when we're out here, but... Because I have a feeling there's many miles between us, but Texas is a lot further away. But yes, I will be making a yearly appearance at Matsuri, more than likely, so should see you there. It's also a much shorter plane ride from Texas to Chicago, so G-Fest is a lot more convenient. I think it'd make more sense to relate to release the trailer mid-June. No, July I think is the one that makes sense to me, because you could release it during virtual Comic-Con. This movie shouldn't be considered a Godzilla movie. I disagree. My dream is to go to G-Fest one day. Hope you get to, Robbie. Yeah, that's where some family lives, and we're moving back there. Gonna try to probably move back to California on my own eventually, probably for school. Just don't go to the school I'm going to. BG Dub, any news on Anime Matsuri if they're still continuing the event? Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they are still continuing. There is a 0% chance the song Heroes was written for Godzilla 98, so why is it on this soundtrack? Why is it on here? There is absolutely no way. Why was the song Heroes written? Heroes Godzilla cover. Is this a cover? Oh, the Wallflowers hero. Sure. I still have the Anime Matsuri app. Me too. They still update the app, giving me hope that they're not going to stop. It's a part of the Godzilla legacy. Even if people don't like it, it will forever be a Godzilla film. Absolutely. It's a lot like Godzilla vs. Hedorah. G-Fest will most likely be canceled. I don't know why you're saying most likely. It absolutely was canceled. G-Fest has already been canceled. Texas is currently coming out of quarantine. Things are opening back up. Matsuri probably won't get canceled as it's not as bad as California is. I'm still a little nervous about that, though. You know, like, it's a big gathering of people. Puff Daddy and a terrible cover of a David Bowie song. Wonderful. Just wonderful. I think on its own... Oh, they have well, at least they have an in memory of Tomoyuki Tanaka. I've never noticed that, but that's pretty awesome. That's very well deserved. It's a shame that the credit goes on this movie of all movies, but at least he got a credit here. I think on its own, this is not that bad of a cover. It just doesn't hold up to the original, does it? And that's the movie. I was looking back at it in my head expecting a post-credit scene. Of course there isn't one. Is Legendary going to still have that panel at Matsuri? And what happened to the hotel? Is the Godzilla room still going to be a thing? If Matsuri is still a thing, the Godzilla hotel room will still be a thing. More than likely, as far as I'm aware. And the GVK panel that I'm a part of isn't necessarily Legendary. It's a Toho involved panel. And all that I know, because I still don't have the names, they never give me the names, is that there are people from Godzilla vs. Kong who are going to be on it, or who were supposed to be anyways before the virus. I'm expecting that panel might get canceled because of the virus. They haven't announced any Godzilla guests, which leads me to believe that there's a big possibility that the people that they wanted, they did give me a couple ideas of who might be on that panel, and if those people were on the panel, it'd be really awesome. But the fact that they haven't been announced yet leads me to believe that due to Corona, those people won't be appearing at the convention. And so obviously I'm not going to say who those names were, because if they're not going to go, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. And yeah, I haven't heard anything, so I have a feeling that those individuals will not make it to the convention, and so the panel might not happen, which is a shame. Now thinking about it, there are a ton of people in America who believe COVID-19 is a myth or think quarantine is interfering with their rights, so convention might be packed. Maybe. Well, I am going to be wearing a mask and gloves at the convention if it happens, and I'm there. I will have a mask and gloves on. If there's no panel, then it will just be you hanging out. If there's no panel, I still have work to do. I'll still be there. I'll still be covering the... let me change the image here. There we go. I'll still be there. I'll still be covering the Godzilla store and doing all that stuff. And I will also still be covering the Godzilla hotel rooms. So... the only thing that's going to be different is I won't be doing the panel. So it'll be kind of like what I did for Matsuri this year, where I didn't get to film with the actors due to contractual reasons. But yeah. Yeah, I'll be going with a mask as well. Gloves won't really do much since it's basically another layer of skin. Like if you touch the virus and then touch your face with a glove, it'll still get on you. Well, I don't know why you think I'm going to touch my face with the glove on. If I'm wearing a glove, I'm not touching my face. I should be able to see you and Chris again, hopefully. If you're saying Chris is in Chris Goji fan, I don't think he's going to Matsuri, so I don't think he'll be there. Is that the Chris? Oh, you're... Don't tell Chris that I got this wrong. Please don't tell him that I assumed the wrong Chris. I know exactly who you're talking about, and he has confirmed to me privately. I don't know why I say privately like he was trying to keep it a secret. He confirmed to me, he texted me and let me know. It wasn't like he was like, hey, keep this under wraps. He is not planning on going to Matsuri, or at least he wasn't planning on going to Matsuri. He was going to go to G-Fest instead. So that was his plan. So he had no plans to make it to that convention. Now, that could change. Now that G-Fest is canceled, he might be at Matsuri. But, yeah, he wasn't going to originally be at Matsuri. Yeah, but if I'm wearing gloves, I'm not touching my face. I think that's just safer. It's just an extra precaution. It's better off just going out without a mask and gloves, because a mask and gloves is the same thing as not wearing anything. What? Yeah, it's better off just going out without a mask and gloves, because a mask and gloves is just the same as not wearing anything. That is not true. Who told you that the mask isn't going to help at all? Don't get me wrong. The masks aren't like a cure. You know, people always think that you can't get sick if you have a mask. You absolutely can. But the mask also helps. They do help. Chris Hansen. Yeah, that's exactly the Chris. No, you got it right on the head. Those are the only fictional characters with Chris at the beginning that I know of. Yeah, I can't think of any others. Well, we did it. We made it through the movie. The mask has an extra layer of protection. Prevents direct contact with the mouth and nose. Exactly. We made it through the movie. We did it for this one. I will see you guys here next week at the exact same time. In order to start the anime watch-along, we will be watching Godzilla Monster Planet. That should be decent, you know. I saw some people in the community getting quite hyped about the idea that I'm going to do the anime watch-along, which is cool. Hopefully lots of people tune in for those. So yes, next week we'll be doing the Monster Planet watch-along. And then tomorrow, at the exact same time as I started streaming today, we will be doing the live interview with Matt Frank. Catch it while it's live, otherwise you're going to have to wait a few months. You're not wearing a mask? No one ever said you had to wear a mask. I'm just saying that I'm going to do it. The mask helps for those infected, since when they cough, sneeze, particles surround them instead of reacting with other people. Exactly. See you tomorrow for the Matt Frank interview. Hell yeah. Wikizilla is doing their own watch along. It starts tomorrow. Of course they are. Those unoriginal stinky Wikizilla always trying to copy me. I'm going to fight Wikizilla. I have no idea what they're watching. I don't know what it is. Don't want to seem like I'm beefing with Wikizilla. I'm not. You can relax. All right, thank you guys all for tuning in. I appreciate it. This movie was boring. It was a lot more boring than I remembered it. See you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.